right. So,
So we're looking into noisescapes now. What is noisescapes first?
Noisescapes was originally for Serum 1 as a collection of fun goodies to chuck in the noise sampler. And the unique value proposition to them is that, first of all, they have the loop markers baked into the metadata of the wave file. So in the Serum noise oscillator, obviously, like you don't have that control of putting the loop markers. So it has to have the loop baked into the file. And I use the program called Loop Editor. So you hit, you hold on to the key and it loops, but because it has the loop markers with the fades, it's a seamless looping. So, and also all the sounds are uh, in the key of C. So they all track with the oscillators. It's meant to be used as layers for designing sounds, and it's really cool. There's a lot of like atmospheric kind of textures, let's call them, and pads, and kind of like soundscapes, like layered, kind of time stretched layers of like pads and stuff that are basically just like almost like pads ready to go, but then you, of course, you can layer them more with in Serum. Now that Serum 2 came out, this is even more awesome because now we got effectively the same thing with the sampler, except we got four. So we got the noise sampler plus the three oscillators, which are now samplers. They are granular sampler and also spectral sampler. So we basically just got some delicious snacks for the sampler to feed it. And it's absolutely perfect for Psytrance and for making sounds. And like, yeah, let's give it a whirl and we'll see. Yeah, boy. So let's just find a nice little place to do a sort of intro kind of paddy thing. Let's say in a breakdown where we have that room to do that because, I think everyone understands that over these very dominating kick bass areas, there's very, very little room to hear the detail of pads and atmospheres kind of clearly. Um, so let's just find a little area here. All right, so that's kind of cool. Gonna build up, or maybe we should find more like an intro. Let's try the intro. Yeah, okay, we got this whole area to play with. Anyways, so okay, let's open up a new instance of Serum 2. And now, instead of just this noise oscillator that is our pseudo sampler that we could use to layer stuff into our sound design in Serum, now we got these three oscillators, which are effectively samplers, granular samplers, and spectral samplers, and a multi-sampler. I haven't even had the chance to explore this, but this is going to be fun. I already have some ideas, and I'm going to hope that my ideas can come to fruition, but I'm very excited to muck around with that multi-sampler because that could be super cool. So yeah, so as I said, oh, another thing to note too is Serum 2 is now the noise oscillator actually has like a proper noise generator. I don't know where it is, but uh apparently, yeah, it's like instead of just playing back a sample, it's got like a noise generator too, from as far as I understand, but I can't see it. Anyways, so here we got our three samplers, and we got these three different modes. Sample is just kind of straight sample playback. I don't think there's anything really super fancy about this. So let's just try. What do you think? Should we do a dark atmosphere or should we do a pad?
No, let's make a dark atmosphere.
On dark atmosphere. I like these glassmospheres. These are really cool. These liquid crystals. These are really cool. Now, see, when you go forward loop, you see it's already got these loop markers baked in. That's the metadata that I put into it with loop editor. So it already has that in. So basically, you could just go with the fade edges. And as you can see, they're quite long samples because they're meant to like have a lot of variation across. So obviously an atmosphere wouldn't be very atmospheric without some reverb. Gonna put a little equalizer here just to get some of that mid-range. I think it depends on what key you play it in. Like I think, they're originally made in C, so that's really fun. As you see, they're seamlessly looping, so you just hold the key and you can play it as long as you want. This reminds me of a scene in Star Wars. It's like taken by the dark side of the Force. So pretty spooky pretty spooky layers. Okay, it's a different story.
Yeah, so that's basically what they do like in horror movies. Like they have like this really deep drone pumping, and then they have like this dissonant high sound, which sounds like a blade, usually on top.
Yeah, exactly. So these are very kind of cinematic. Um, But but then of course, like the real fun here is like, okay, let's just before we even get to any of the other stuff, is that once again, like these are all in C, right? They're all in the same key. So you don't have to mess around with repitching them or whatever. So now we can just, start layering them. Let's just take like of course you have to set these to forward so the the sustain loop gets activated. Otherwise it just plays and then ends. Now these all get treated like one unit, like an oscillator. So now we can. Now isn't that beautiful? Now wait till we get to like the pads. So let's try Sphere Lab 1. Let's try let's try to mix it with some vocals. Little choir. And let's try that for now. Try another. Okay, whatever. I'm just guessing. Huh?
Sounds nice. Maybe like an augmented chord could be nice on those, or?
Oh. I mean, I just took a guess. I mean, obviously. we're getting to some other stuff there. So yeah, then there's this other folder here called what is it? Matrix Soundscapes, which is also interesting. This is like kind of like what we just did here, like layered a bunch of these are already like pre-layered. So then you could like layer the layered ones and then get even more layered. And it's like a like an inception of layered pads. It's a serumception. So, so let's try that. We'll try. That's beautiful. It's like
Do you use like stuff like the warps down there on those to kind of like if you want to make them more unique, or is there? I mean, now we mix them, but is there like other ways how people can like mangle them a bit?
oh yeah, well man, we got these granular. We could just and it's so amazing too that actually you could just flip it to granular or spectral without even having to reload the sample. Like, isn't that so cool? And the spectral has this whole selection of spectral like special warp modes just for that. In particular, there's this smear, which is really cool. Let's hear that in soul. That's insane.
It sounds like the thing which comes in the cinemas in the beginning, like when they do this like Dolby 3D sound.
Yeah, exactly.
That's rising.
So let's try to start mucking around with this. How about let's make this one a granular. So the scan controls the direction. So this way it's going all the way this way. This way it's going all the way backwards. This way I think it just stays, yeah, this right in the middle, it just stays still. So do you want it to play in the direction of a normal sample, like from left to right? You put this all the way here. Otherwise, you put it all the way back, in which case it'll play backwards. And then the density is like the amount of grains within that little space, and then this is the amount of space that it's taking the grains from. So if we want a bit like a That's pretty interesting. Let's try some sprayed chimes. I don't think that sounds as good with the pitch. Let's try that pass. Yeah, that's super cool.
I mean, obviously, there's like you can use everything and everything, but where would you see like the advantage, maybe, or on which samples would you more use, maybe in the granular, and which one more in the spectral, and which one more in the noise or the sampler?
Well, I mean, I think it just depends on what you want to achieve. And honestly, like having this much how do you say, like creative options in Serum now, like I'm still actually really just exploring it myself.
Mm.
Like to be honest, like I don't like I'm super excited to get my hands dirty and just like play around with this more and come up with some like really interesting combinations. But I mean, even just putting them as samples,
Mhm.
without touching, because I mean, part of the thing is that I already processed these a lot, so it's like they're very much like kind of like almost like ready to go without even having to manipulate them further. So it's really like up to you what you want to achieve, right? And I mean the real cool thing here is that okay, you layer these and then you have everything after this in the signal chain
Mm.
to treat these all as one unit. Or you could even take that further now that you have the routing in the mixing. So now we can send these like we could send these out to these buses, which I still have to play around with myself to actually experiment with how this works because I don't even um like I'm not even sure how to run this yet. But anyways, I just know for a fact that like this opens up a whole okay, you can go bus one, bus two. I need to look at this more before I start talking out of my ass. So yeah, like there's just so much more options going on here. And then you could treat these as one unit, and then you could split it up into different paths to treat them separately and then merge them back together again. You know what I mean? So like really like there's almost endless possibilities to play around with. And I think just like everyone else, like this drop literally just came 3 days ago.
Mm.
So let's try to make an intro. We'll see how this sounds in a practical sense. Kind of got some nice pads. Okay, maybe we don't need that sprayed chimes. Yeah, but this is just super cool. Okay, so what should we try? I'm gonna lean towards just making these I guess that's way too drony and patty to be at that part. That's kind of cool. Settle down, Beavis. Want to kind of go, wow, wow. One of those phasers. Sample. Let's try what the heck is it? Phasers. Okay, so let's if the scan is okay. Interesting. Too. It's really loud. Let's get an automation of that. So. There we got a cool riser. Spectral riser. Oh my god. How's it? Also, I put a series of single cycle waveforms in there too, which could be interesting. If basically triggering them, treating it like an oscillator, but imagine now using the spectral features like on a lead kind of style oscillation. That could be interesting. Um, let me see what we got here. Some creepiness to offset the paddiness. Let's see. Oh, I got an idea. How about instead of a dark thing, I got these nature sounds. Got some foresty.
I think the chatter would work well as well.
Let me try it. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty noisy. This is kind of fun for like, it's got a very ominous sound to it. Oh, there we go. Remember, have you ever seen the movie THX 1138?
Nope. But I remember our conversation we had, I think, last time over that. In the last video we did, we also spoke about that like a few
Yeah.
years ago, I think.
Well, it's hugely inspiring for me, but basically what they did, and it was kind of like, as far as I understand, it was kind of like the experimental phase where they figured out a lot of the stuff that they used to make the droids and all that in Star Wars. And basically what they did is they had actors basically speaking over a radio, and then they picked it up on the other side with they tune in and then record it. So they actually send the signal into space and then record it through like a radio, and it gets this like kind of grainy, kind of like a ring mod kind of texture. So I mean, playing around with the radio is super fun, but yeah, you get all these like super weird voices and stuff like that, just like getting tuned through the thing. There's a website called Greenwich. What is it? I'll find it for you. I forget exactly what it is, but it's like a web SDR, and you basically got all the different channels, and you could scan through them, and you play it, and then you could record it all live. It's super fun. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, it's super like it makes some weird alien. Maybe we could try it, just like a kind of slow pitch in. Oh, that works. I mean, it's the intro of a track, so. Um, Let me just see here. Well, the volume's pretty low on that. What happened to the bass? Oh, it's over here. There we go. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's super nice, man. I actually really interesting because I haven't checked out Serum 2 as well so much with like the Granular and all that. So it gave me basically like a mini tutorial, so I don't need to read a manual as much. You
Yeah,
probably have been like awake all night and studying it, or
No, not quite actually. I mean, the the thing that's been keeping me up at night is that I just released the outer limits for Serum 1 than the actual content. But also I redid ARP Lab. So that was a lot of work to do it so fast. But I think it's definitely worth it. And it was good to push myself to try to catch the wave while it's fresh, you know?
yeah. Definitely. I mean, it will be super interesting. I mean, people will love this, I guess, to see all the new Serum stuff and then working with the bank and yeah, playing around themselves.
Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, if you want to get this stuff, go check out my new website. It's called outerverse.fm. And we're gonna have lots of juicy material. And it's fresh, it's new. Give us a bit of time and we're gonna pump up the party with all kinds of psi sounds and fun other stuff. You know, we might even end up doing other genres and stuff too. We'll see where it goes, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's a super nice pack. So Vincent already sent me, and I also played a bit around, and I can really say the sounds are like delicious to play with the presets and everything. It's really nice. So definitely check it out. Yeah.
Cool.
So this has been the final video of the series, and if you want to get the packs, you find a link in my description box below where you can support Vincent and buy the packs. And also there's another link because we made a whole recording for Serum 1 before Serum 2 came out, but then we decided to make everything new and fresh for you guys. But if you want to have more knowledge, because there are some hidden gems in there, then you can click on the second link, leave your email address, and I will send you this video as well. And if you want to watch more Psytrance tutorials, then click the next video now.